There is one phrase, one specific kind of sentence that a woman will say to you when her body has already decided she wants you. And I promise you, most men hear it every single week and have absolutely no idea what just happened. This is not pickup lines. This is not NLP. This is not the kind of surface-level content you've already scrolled past 1,000 times. What I'm going to give you today is something older than language itself. And by the end of this video, you're going to look back at every missed moment and finally understand what she was actually telling you. Stay with me, because the last signal I share, the one I'm saving for the end, that one changes everything. Let me ask you something honest. Have you ever been talking to a woman and the conversation felt warm, electric almost, and you thought something might happen, and then nothing did? And later, days later, lying in bed, you replayed it and thought, was she into me? Did I miss something? Brother, you probably did. And here's the raw reality of it. It wasn't because she wasn't interested. It's because she was speaking a language that no one ever taught you to hear. Women don't announce desire the way movies make you think they do. They don't walk up to you, look you in the eyes, and say what they want. That's not how the female nervous system works. That's not how attraction moves through a woman's body and out of her mouth. Instead, it wraps itself in conversation. It hides in casual questions. It disguises itself as something so ordinary that a man who isn't paying attention will smile, answer, and walk away completely blind to what just happened. Most men are walking through life surrounded by these silent signals, and they can't hear a single one. I was one of those men. I remember a night, years ago now, sitting across from a woman at a bar. She was leaning in. She kept finding reasons to touch my arm, and at one point she said, completely out of nowhere, "So what are you doing after this?" And I actually said, "Probably just heading home. I'm tired." She laughed. I thought it was a friendly laugh. I found out later from a mutual friend that she had been interested in me for months. I still feel that one in my chest. Because no one sat me down and explained what she was actually asking. No one gave me the map. And that's what you're here for today. Because I'm going to give you that map right now. Here's what studies in behavioral psychology and human communication keep circling back to. Women are biologically wired to test for safety before they signal desire. Her nervous system needs to confirm two things before she will say, in any form, that she wants more of you. First, that she is not going to be rejected or embarrassed. Second, that you are capable of receiving what she is offering. These are not conscious decisions she makes. Her subconscious is running this process entirely in the background. She is not sitting there thinking, let me test this man. She is simply responding to chemical signals in her own body that are pushing her toward or away from you. When those signals push her toward you, they travel from her emotional brain into her prefrontal cortex. And that's where language lives. That's where the signals become words. And those words, they follow patterns. Recognizable, repeating patterns that men who understand this can identify in real time. There are 5 of them. I call them levels because each one is deeper than the last. Each one carries more heat, more intention, more certainty. And I'm going to walk you through all 5. But the 5th one, brother, I'm holding that one back until the very end. Because without the context I'm about to give you, you won't fully feel the weight of it. Level 1 is what I call the invitation loop. She says something to you and then immediately creates an opportunity for you to respond, keep talking, or follow up. It sounds simple. It isn't. Most men treat these like casual small talk because the surface content is casual. But underneath, what she's doing is opening a door and watching to see if you walk through it. The classic version sounds like this. I've never tried that place. Is it good? Or, I keep meaning to watch that. What did you think? Or even something as small as, I didn't know you were into that. None of these sentences sound like desire. They sound like conversation. And that's the point. What she's doing, neurologically, is running a test with almost zero emotional risk. If you respond with enthusiasm, with presence, with warmth, her nervous system registers safety. The door stays open. If you give her a flat answer and move on, the door doesn't close, but it stops opening any wider. What you need to notice is this. Invitation loops appear in clusters. 1 is conversation. 2 in a row is interest. 3 is her subconscious practically pulling you toward her by the collar. When you spot a loop, you don't just answer the question. You answer it and you lean in. You return the energy. You stay in it. Because the invitation loop is not really asking about the restaurant. It's asking, can you hold space for me? Are you here? Level 2 is what I call the future projection test. This one is extraordinary, brother, because most men think they're having a planning conversation when they're actually in the middle of one of the most clear signals of attraction that exists. It sounds like this: we should do that sometime. Or, you'd probably like it there. Or, my personal favorite, have you ever been to... And then she names somewhere beautiful, somewhere atmospheric, somewhere that's clearly meant for two people. What is happening here, neurologically, is that she is placing you inside her imagination. She is projecting you into a future experience. Her primal brain is rehearsing what it would feel like to be somewhere with you. And that projection, that mental image, produces a low-level release of dopamine and oxytocin. She is literally giving herself a small chemical reward just by imagining you there with her. This is not accidental. This is instinctive. What she needs from you in this moment is not a logistics discussion. She is not asking you to pull out your calendar. She is asking you to match the energy. She is asking you to want the same thing she's quietly, almost shyly, saying she wants. The man who responds to, "We should go sometime," with, "Yeah, that could be cool," has answered the question but missed the signal entirely. The man who responds with warmth, with certainty, with something like, "Then let's actually make that happen," that man has just told her nervous system something very important. He is not passive. He is present. He is willing to move toward her. That's what she was asking. Level 3. And this one, brother, is the one that gets underestimated the most because it comes dressed in the most casual clothing imaginable. It's the vulnerability offer. She tells you something small and slightly personal. Not deeply personal, not her darkest secrets. Something in the middle. Something she would only say to someone she felt even slightly comfortable with. It might be a minor insecurity, a quirk, a thing she does that she finds a little embarrassing, a moment from her past that wasn't perfect. And she delivers it with a tiny smile and watches your face. She is not telling you that story for the story's sake. She is offering you a small piece of herself and watching how you handle it. Her nervous system is checking. Does he make me feel safe? Does he receive me without judgment? Does he make it weird? Or does he make it feel natural? Because vulnerability for a woman is one of the most directly connected paths to desire. If she can tell you something that makes her feel slightly exposed and you receive it with warmth, with calm, masculine presence, her nervous system doesn't just relax. It begins to associate you with safety at a primal level. And safety, brother, is the foundation of everything that comes after. The man who reacts with teasing that goes too far, who makes it awkward, who immediately tries to one-up her with his own story, he has failed the test without even knowing the test existed. The man who simply receives it, who responds with understanding, with a small acknowledgement, who doesn't make a production of it, that man has passed a gate that most men don't even know is there. Level 4 is where the language starts getting more direct. And even here, most men still miss it. I call this one the proximity invitation. It's not what she says, brother. It's what she says combined with where she is when she says it. She moves closer to you and then speaks. Or she finds a reason, any reason, to establish physical proximity and then opens a new topic of conversation. She picks something off your jacket and then asks you a question. She leans over to look at your phone and doesn't move back. The proximity invitation says something very specific. It says, "I have reduced the physical distance between us, and I am waiting to see if you will honor that or retreat from it." Her nervous system is testing for masculine presence. Not aggression, not performance. Presence. The quiet, confident, unhurried energy of a man who is comfortable being close to her and doesn't flinch away from it. Who doesn't lean back. Who doesn't suddenly become awkward. Studies in human proximity and attraction show that a woman's assessment of a man's confidence is disproportionately tied to how he behaves in close physical space. Not what he says, how his body responds. Does his breathing change? Does he break the moment? Does he hold it? This is where your nervous system speaks louder than any word ever could. When a woman closes the distance and then keeps talking to you, she is not talking. She is waiting. And now, brother, the fifth signal, the one I promised you. I want you to understand something first. Everything I've shared with you in this video has been about the approach, the testing, the checking, the cautious reaching out of a woman's attraction before she fully commits to revealing it. Those were the signals that come before. But the fifth signal is different. The fifth signal is not a test anymore. It's a declaration. And it sounds like this. She asks you what you're doing later. Or she tells you she doesn't want to go home yet. Or she says, and this is the phrase that most men hear and still manage to not understand, I'm not ready for tonight to be over. Brother, that sentence is not about time management. That sentence is the full expression of everything her nervous system has been building toward since the moment she ran the first invitation loop with you. It is the chemical result of dopamine, oxytocin, and adrenaline reaching a tipping point. It is her subconscious finally stepping aside and allowing her conscious voice to say what her body has already decided. I'm not ready for tonight to be over is her nervous system signaling total safety. It is emotional surrender to the pull she's been feeling. It is, in the most unfiltered, real, human sense, her telling you, without telling you, that she wants more of you and she doesn't want to walk away from what is happening between you. And here is the truth almost no one talks about. When a woman says this to you, you have already earned it. You didn't earn it in that moment. You earned it across everything that came before it. The way you held the invitation loops, the warmth you brought to her vulnerability offer, the calmness in your presence when she moved closer. The fifth signal doesn't ask you to do anything clever. It asks you to be present, to respond with the same quiet certainty you've been bringing all night, and to match her. Not to perform, not to suddenly become someone else, just to be the man she has already decided she wants to be around. That is the gift inside the fifth signal. She has already chosen. She is simply handing you the moment. Most men will scroll past this video and keep wondering why the conversations that feel electric never lead anywhere. They will keep analyzing what they said and trying different things and reading different theories. Because no one gave them the map. No one explained that she was speaking the entire time. She just wasn't speaking in words he'd been taught to recognize. But you have the map now, brother. The invitation loop, clusters of open doors. The future projection, placing you inside her imagination. The vulnerability offer, handing you a small piece of herself to see if you'll hold it carefully. The proximity invitation, closing the distance and waiting to see if you hold the space. And the declaration, her nervous system finally, fully saying yes. These are not tricks. These are not tactics. These are the authentic, primal, deeply human ways that attraction moves from a woman's chemistry into her words. Understanding them doesn't mean you manipulate anything. It means you stop being blind to what's already there. The man who understands this isn't the man who works harder. He's the man who finally starts seeing clearly. If this reached you, if something in here landed, do me one favor. Like this video so that more men can access this truth. Not for the numbers, because there are brothers out there right now sitting across from women who are speaking and not being heard. And this is how we fix that. Subscribe so you don't miss what's coming next. Because in the next video, I'm going into something that goes even deeper. The specific moment in a conversation when a woman's attraction either locks in permanently or quietly fades, and the one thing you do with your presence in that window that decides which direction it goes. You don't want to miss that one.